Okay, this is a how-to, more of a guide. Everybody's different on how they fit these, but this is a step-by-step on how I do it, fitting a diesel heater to a Transit Custom under the passenger seat. There it is, all working. Back to the beginning. Okay, fitting a Chinese diesel heater to a Transit Custom 2016 2.2 TDCI. So heater will be going here. I thought I'd got a double battery. It's only a single, so what I'll do, instead of double, maybe okay, single, you could flatten the battery, be stuck, no good. So I'll put a leisure battery here, it's on order, split charger coming from the main battery into here, which will charge the leisure battery and run the diesel heater. You could also run a USB point, water pumps if you're putting any sort of camper stuff in. Yeah, the control panel will go on apply section. I'm going to put across there. So the first bit will be fitting the diesel heater under the seat. I've managed to get 3 meters of decent pipe in. That stuff they supply. That's good for the fish tank, I guess, nothing else. The loom's good, the exhaust they supply is okay, but not long enough. So underneath the heater from there, I'm going to buy another, I think it's either 2 or 3 meters of this, are identical. You just reconnect it with a tube on the end there, a couple of Jubilee clips, and run it out, and it actually goes down on the excuse me, on the Custom against the exhaust heat shield cowl, and you can bring it out by the side wheel there. So okay, first bit, get this there. So first thing, jack the front of the van up. Doesn't need to be too high. I've got to drop the fuel tank and fit an external feed, as I'm not happy with using the tanks they supply. They're great, but you've got diesel in the cab. Okay, so that goes into the fuel tank, into this sender. So there's 3 straps that hold the tank on. Drop them, put it on I use a piece of ply with a jack. Just pull the back out, and the sender is roughly where that roll of what's it is there. You can fit the sender fit the external feed pipe into the sender, and then put the tank back, run the pipe up, and then connect it to the diesel heater, which should actually be already connected to the heater. It should drop down, then cut it to length, fit it to the end of here. So right, crack on. Okay, fuel tank drop. My main ramp isn't can't take the weight of this van, so it's crawl on the floor time. So there's 3 13 mils front, 3 at the back. I put about 4 or 5 turns on the back ones, don't take them out, and these ones take them out, these 3. So a piece of ply across the tank, a jack to hold it steady, and you can pull this back end around to get the sender out. I think there's some fuel pipes to disconnect at the front. I'm not too sure on the Custom. I'll get to that. Coming down from the filler there. On this one, I've disconnected it from there. There's the neck going into the tank, and you should be able to just see the fuel lines. You can pop those off from the clips on the front of the tank, and there's another 2 or 3 clips that go into the chassis rail further up. Unclip those just to keep these fuel lines from kinking, and there's the sender there. Now remember, with these you can put in a extension from there. You cut the top off and put that on. Not too sure whether to order one of those actually, or take the tank out and do it as I was going to, because this is a different tank sender from the last Custom I did, although it looks as if it's still the twist off. Right, pull the tank back and let's have a look. There you go, we are workable. So basically from here on, all of these inlet outlet pipes unclipped. You can move it then, no problem. keep something underneath it, so you can twist it back round after. So we're workable now. This just looks a straightforward clip off, so I'm not too sure whether I'll go in from here or make a different location point. Depends what's behind it. I'll try that, I think. Okay, bit of a long-winded way around it, but it'll work. So I'm going to go for a feed pipe from the original with about 1.5 inch kink. That feeds over a piece of 6mm, which will go over the nipple there that's on the feeder part of the tank on the forward. So take the top off. This pipe will go through out the top, that pipe over there, the bend, and then I can carry on with the 3-meter pipe I've got from here. So, a bit long-winded, but perfectly usable, perfectly safe, no problem, and all the correct plumbing and fuel pipe. I've used the ones that clip over before. They're good, about 25 quid. I had the heater smoking. I couldn't pinpoint it to leaking air here or at the filter or somewhere else, but this will certainly be airtight from the fuel coming out of the tank. Okay, we're there. So a bit of sideways thinking, but that always works. So here's a piece of softer 6mm over the nipple from the feeder tank. The metal pipe from the kit bent over to about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Feed that over, connect that onto the nipple, connect another one there to seal that, so that's a sealed section, and then with the inch that's left, put over your feed pipe, which I've bought. I think it's a 4.5mm entrance there, good solid fuel pipe, and now I'll route it forward to a point where I can put it into the heater. Obviously not using all of this. I think it's about 1.5 meters, 1.75 meters. So secure that following the pipes up and put the tank back, and then it'll be a case of dropping the heater in from the hole at the top with it all basically plumbed up. So when it goes through the top, the air pipe will be on here and the exhaust will be on there, and then just lower it down from the top. Let's get the fuel tank back. Yeah, I'll just point out, if you don't want all this drama, then there's a kit that's sold on eBay. I think it's £24 for a Mark 7/8 Transit. And basically it's a straw that goes through this once you cut the top off, and then a clip that goes over, similar to a fuel pipe clip. But I've managed to find one here. Basically it's the sort of fuel pipe clips there, but the straw fits in it, and then that will click over the top. You've obviously got rubber seals in there. I don't know if that's a better way, either. If it's safe, it doesn't leak, and it works, then job done. Okay, you can see there I've followed the profile of the pipes, the in-out pipes for the tank, best I can. That's good solid pipes. There's absolutely no chance it'll wear right to the front there. It's just dropping down there. The rest of it I'll sort once the tank is back in situ. So, right, let's get mucky again. Okay, handstand, triple Selco, backflip, and about 5 jacks later. That's the fuel tank back in. Definitely a job for two. That was quite difficult. You've got to keep it flat basically, otherwise whatever fuel you've got in it, and it was just under 1/4 of a tank for this, it just wants to move around, and you're constantly flipping the jacks about until you've got it probably a couple of inches lower than that, and then you can take it up with the side clamps there. So if you've got 2 people, all good. If not, it's a challenge, but plenty of fun. Okay, so I've got my feed pipe there now. It's roughly in that section there, comes through the diesel heater. So what I normally do is roughly put it in position, go through with a drill from underneath here in the centre, and then I can work out where I need to go on the top. So I get the main body of the heater in. Okay, I'm cutting through from the top with a 6cm hole cutter. So looking from the inside there, yeah, there's a grommet that goes from the side of the seat there, so that's a marker. You just see here, that's the inner chassis rail there, so it's quite tight, but you can do it. So basically I'm just waiting for the drill battery to charge, and I'll go through from there. If there's any tidying up needed, or just a slight bit on that, no problem. And then drop the heater in. So for now, while it's charging, secure this to the heater, the plate you get, go from there. Okay, there on. Next will be the air inlet, which is by the fuel, so on there, Jubilee clip. Okay, that's the hole cut and treated with a rust cure. You can see there from that small bit of metal coming down and the grommet where the hole is, just very slightly going into the lip on the rail there. That's to stop it from catching the seat the other side. So the left of the video is towards the front of the van, obviously right to the rear of the van. Top of the screen, passenger side, bottom of the screen, drivers. So left now is to bring in the diesel feed, run it through the filter, run it through the pump, and then back out through another hole, grommeted, into the diesel heater. Okay, from underneath the van, there might be a bit of interference, well, I wouldn't say interference, but there's a church next door, you might get a bit of yee-haw every now and again. Okay, so the feed pipe from the tank, zip tied in there and going through a grommet on the floor. That's a factory grommet that is under the seat. When I get to the top of the cab, I'll point out where that is roughly. So through there, that goes into the filter and pump. The return pipe I'm bringing in from, hang on, let's get my light ready. That's already been shown, and the return is coming in from another grommet about 3-4 inches further forward towards the front of the van. And again, another pointer is that small factory grommet there. So yeah, on the same side as the rail edge grommet there, and the feed pipe back through, which will go into the diesel heater this side. So repeat, feed pipe up through there, and the return to the diesel heater through there. Obviously that's where the diesel heater will come through. I did think about going through the chassis rail, you can see there where I was coming through. I'd grommeted that, put the pipe through, and then realised I'm exhaust side, so the pipe would have ran too close to the exhaust, basically fuel exhaust, no good, or even over this chassis rail. The problem is with that, if anything hits it, you're chafing or breaking a fuel pipe, not good. So that's the safest way I can do it. Correct pipe, correct fitting, and then coming back out this side through a grommet. Okay, right, top of the van. Okay, from the top of the van, the feed pipe, the grommet, is roughly here. So reference to that, 6-7 inches, 8 inch across to there. Another reference, you kind of work out where that is. Doesn't make that much difference other than the fact that underneath here, what I do is I pull the foam off so the pipes can sit without being compressed down by the foam. Again, that's not going to make a massive difference because it's all this side. That side will be the leisure battery split charger fit to maybe this, so you can see it when you open the seat cover up. And from the back, so you can see the setup of the pump and filter. So that's the pump and filter there, coming in through the carpet edge pipe going into the pump. That's set at its usual angle, up and over through the filter that I installed vertical, and then down through a grommet into the, which goes into the diesel heater. I'm doing it that way around this time. I think sometimes these filters can't cope with air blockages basically, so the diesel heaters smoke. I don't think there's any problem with that, with garbage coming through. Not that there will be. You should never run a tank that low anyway, but it's filtered before it goes into the diesel heater. That's more important, as the heaters have like a small injector. And from here you can see the two pipes coming through. That's the feed to the pump, and this one going back through underneath the carpet here, through the grommet, and then I'll connect it from the bottom to the diesel heater feed. So with the diesel heater ready now, up and over through the hole. Okay, to fit the diesel feed you can tilt the heater back and get to it before you drop it through, as in the pipe at the bottom will be looped, and I'll secure it somewhere so there's plenty of pipe there to come through and connect it basically. So yeah, see through there the inlet and outlet. That's where the outlet goes through and back up again into the diesel heater. So I'll get that connected and then drop the heater through and secure it. Okay, in and secure. So what I'll do now is connect up all of the wiring loom. Okay, these are pretty straightforward, as in the big goes to the diesel pump connector. Got a fuse, just check it has got a fuse in. Adjust if you need to. The one with the clip goes to the pump, and the one with the yellow T goes to the controller, and then you're left with a negative and positive, obviously, to your power supply. Okay, so the first one into the heater, the second one onto the pump, and the third into the controller there. Okay, all done, fitted. So it's running. Let's pull this side up. Okay, to be added on its way, the leisure battery there, split charger. I've just basically run a positive to the main battery just to get it working, tested. There'll be the air heater manual with it, and the control mechanism there will be fitted to a panel that I've mentioned several times there, probably just here where you can operate it, and there's also the remote. So going to the underside of the van, just point out on these controllers first, when you first turn these on, if you've not put any fuel into the system, if you're going direct from a fuel tank, you'll get an E10 failure message basically. Let it cool down, switch it back on again. 9 times out of 10 it'll eventually fire up and run. If not, go through that cycle a couple of times and eventually it'll go. It's just pulling the fuel basically from the tank to the heater. If you can, bring a bit of diesel through and get it to the pump or the filter, and then should fire up pretty much straight away. Okay, that's looking from the underside of the van. You've got the feed coming in into the heater there. You've got the exhaust zip tied between those two there, and the the inlet there and the exhaust here. I'm going to run an extender on and take it much further down the van, and then connect the little exhaust box there, facing it down in case any water gets into it. So yeah, that's it, successful install. Again, that's your fuel coming back from your pump and filter straight into the diesel heater at the back there, the air down to its little breather there facing downwards so you don't get any water in it. Good to check on that every now and again. Actually, sometimes these pipes can collapse or that gets a bit of water in it. However, this is about a foot, just over a foot in, so it should be quite dry there. And again, the exhaust, I've bought an extender, taking it down maybe another 2 or 3 metres towards the back of the van. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. So not too far off finishing this van there, and then it'll be for sale. I've got the few things that I've mentioned in the back there, but regarding the diesel heater, that's it, it's fitted. Okay, thanks for watching.